evening and welcome to the evening show with Ben Ferguson. I'm Amber Shannon and tonight we have a very special holiday show. From Carpinteria, our very own Scrooge is in the house. Mr. Carter Hampton is here to tell us a little bit about his upcoming show, A Christmas Carol. And later we have a very special appearance by Mr. Las Vegas himself, Keith Austin. But first, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our host, Mr. Ben Ferguson.
Thank you, Amber, and thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for coming this evening. As Amber mentioned, we are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season, which is my very favorite time of the year. We were talking about traditions earlier, and I have a kind of a quirky tradition. I only drink ginger ale for 2 weeks before Christmas. When I was a kid, my mom would, the month of December, all laws and all rules of soft drinks were lifted for the month of December. We could drink 2, 3, 4 a night, didn't matter. After that, we drank one and that was it. But I remember she'd come home with a case of Pepsi, 7-Up, and ginger ale. And to this day, I don't drink it at all during the year, and I love it. But 2 weeks before Christmas time, it's on. I like me some ginger ale. Anyway, we have traditions of Amber. She has brought a couple that she makes for her family. She's going to show us and how to make them in just a few minutes, so that'll be fun. And as she mentioned, we have Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge. I ran into him in the hallway a few minutes ago, not in a very good mood. So I would appreciate it if all you could a couple extra cheers and smile when he comes out, because he's having a tough day. But anyway, he's coming from the Plaza Playhouse Theater, the new adaptation of A Christmas Carol with the brand new director, Jordana Lawrence. And in fact, I ran into her the other day, and she was telling me secretly that she has changed a few of the scenes. She's made it a little darker, a little more exciting. So, I can't wait to see that. And that's going to be on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we're going to talk a lot more about that. And if that wasn't enough, we have Mr. Las Vegas himself, Mr. Keith Austin. Keith Austin had a TV show back in the 70s in Las Vegas. He's interviewed everybody from Little Richard to Rich Little, Sammy Davis Jr., and on and on. He's going to come out and tell us all about it. He has 2, actually maybe 3 one-hour specials that are going to be played exclusively on Channel 17 in the next couple of months. So we're going to hear all about that. So don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, we're going to be with Amber Shannon, Holiday Traditions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for tuning in to our holiday edition of the evening show. Amber Shannon, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for this. We're going to talk more about this, but boy, do these smell good.
I know.
This smells like the holidays right here. Let's talk real quick about the play that you were in. Now, last show we talked about you were going to be in, and then you were in rehearsals, I think.
Yes.
And then there were none.
Yes, right in the middle of them.
Right, and I had never seen you. You were going to pictures actually for the
yes,
the press
immediately
thing.
After.
Yeah, and I went to see it. I went to see it the very first night, and you were just incredible.
Thank you.
And I wanted to bring some pictures out and I show you. Now this. There's a whole bunch of people out there, and these are really good actors too.
They are very good actors.
Now, if I remember right, you weren't doing so well here.
No.
Yeah, I think you
That
died.
was it. That was it for me. Yes, that was my final scene.
Yeah.
My final moment.
Yeah, it was a little close up.
Yeah.
Crop that one so you can see. You play a very good dead girl. But there's a scene in there, and the reason I bring this whole thing up is because you were in a scene with Michelle Miner.
Yes.
Okay, Michelle Miner, I've seen her in a few different plays. In fact, I was in one play with her.
She's a great actress.
She is something else.
Yeah.
But the two of you, I think you both had English accents, which was just perfect. And you guys got into it, and I have this. You guys got into it, and the first time I saw that, I called you and I said, I want you guys to come on. So next show, we're going to have Michelle come on, and you guys are going to do this scene. Will you do the scene?
So fun. I absolutely will.
We had a couple traditions of your own, and this smells so good. Tell us about this.
I agree, they do smell good. Okay, so I always have to make pumpkin bread and pumpkin cookies and pumpkin pie, pumpkin cheesecake, pumpkin everything for my family, and they immediately start requesting it around October 1st.
Right,
So this is the 3rd go-round, and I was forced, I was asked nicely.
You were forced. I know how families work.
Yes, my 12-year-old said, Mom, you're going to leave a plate right here, right? You're not taking this whole giant thing. And I said, no, I'll leave a plate.
Well, good kid, smart kid. You know, it's funny because pumpkin was the main thing when I was a kid. Pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cookies, it didn't matter. That holiday too. And the other thing that we talked about was an advent calendar.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I had the little ones with the chocolate, and I'd get up in the morning, man, I'd run straight to that thing. And as I grew older, my mom had bigger ones with toys in it.
Yes.
And
it used to be only a chocolate.
Right. But you have one that's very interesting. I'm going to hold
really
this up
special.
for everyone to see. So this one's been, tell us the history of this.
So this one was actually made for my husband by his grandmother, and it's passed down to our kids. Each one of his siblings has their own, and the firstborn gets to have it.
So what is the 12-year-old, is that the older one?
Yeah, she's our firstborn, and she is, you know.
And her younger brother, is it?
Yes.
He doesn't care does she share with him?
Oh, he has his own.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
we're not.
I was thinking, how does that work? Wouldn't work in my house.
An advent calendar. No, actually, my husband's mom made the second one. Yeah, she made the second advent calendar. So
now,
they each have one.
It's okay. When I was a kid, I swear to you this is true, we'd go to restaurants and there'd be a Christmas tree with presents, and I'd make my mom ask the lady if we could buy a present. My mom would say, Ben, they're bricks. They're shoe boxes. Anyway, she asked the lady said, no, I'm sorry, they're not real. I love presents, and the only thing I love more than wrapped
You're going to like that one.
Oh, man.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know what that one is.
Okay, so let me open this one. You wrap them just like a mom.
It's so good.
Nice. I used to have one of these. Melissa and Doug.
They are a fabulous toy company.
Oh, is that right?
They make the best toys.
I thought it was like a wedding or something.
Nope. It's a really cool toy company.
I want to put a little, I was trying to talk about Archie McPhee.
Yes.
That I told you about. And you can fill any advent calendar, that store, if you go online, it's in Seattle, Washington. You go online, archiemcvee.com, and you can find amazing stuff. So
I'm going to. That's probably how I'll fill the rest of this.
Can I open one more?
Yes.
First I want to look at this. Okay, I know, this is the most beautifully wrapped one.
Yeah. This is the fun part for me, watching the kids, tear through layers and layers, get frustrated.
Perfect. This is exactly what you'll find at Archie McPhee's, too.
Awesome.
This is great. This is wonderful.
It's right up my alley.
Yes, thank you for bringing this in.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the new play we talked about. Have you heard anything about the Plaza Playhouse, the Christmas Carol?
No, I'm going to do lighting again. I know that for sure.
That's right.
Yes.
I heard that. And I'm like, why wouldn't you be out in front of the
I forgot.
the people?
I was doing it, and then there were none, and I completely forgot about auditions.
That's right.
Just like last year, it went right past me.
I played the alcoholic schoolmaster for a couple of years.
You did such a good job.
It was thank you. It was so much fun because I got to throw that darling, adorable little girl. And
Yes.
Remember she was coming around and I got to throw her down the stairs and people are looking at me like, wow.
Oh, I know. Well, somebody has to play the difficult character, right?
Oh, I loved it. I asked if I could be a little bit, I think I did kind of a German accent.
You did, and I loved how stoically straight you were. It was really great.
I loved it. That was fun. And I thought this year it's going to be fun just to sit back and watch. But she told me, the director, Jordana Lawrence, told me it's going to be totally different. Brand new Scrooge. Gene, what's Gene's last name?
I don't.
The former Scrooge was very good, but he'd been at like 5 years in a row.
Yes,
Now
he was great.
Yeah, now we have Mr. Carter Hampton. Carter Hampton, if you don't know him, you probably do if you live in town here, but he's the kind of person that when he walks into the room, everybody knows he's there.
I agree.
Yeah. So, we're going to bring Mr. Scrooge out here, Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge. So, like I said, he wasn't in the best of moods earlier, so.
Shoot.
Yeah, we're going to bring him out here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ebenezer Scrooge. On over here, Ebenezer.
Whoa.
Watch the step there. I know it's... Whoa, yeah, watch your step.
Wouldn't you turn the heat up in here?
Yeah, it's a little chilly, I know.
Oh, what? All right.
They just want to say hi. They want to be friendly.
Oh. Yeah, a little too friendly for me. What do I do?
You come shake my hand, and I want to tell you how much I
Ferguson,
appreciate
sir.
you coming on.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Please have a seat. You're still chilly after wearing that heavy robe and scarf, huh?
To the bone, sir. To the bone.
That's right.
Oh.
So how long have you been in America now?
Oh, I've been here only about 3 months.
Right.
3 months. It's a little too happy here this time of year.
Right. We like our holiday.
Yes.
Yes.
I plan to get out of here as soon as possible.
Certainly.
I'm not liking it whatsoever.
Well,
It's
thank you
just,
for coming on here tonight. We appreciate that.
well, whatever, as long as you pay me my fee afterwards.
Yeah, you're getting your $18, and I
Couldn't
promise
care
you
less.
that. Listen, we want to talk about the Carpinteria Plaza Playhouse. How are you getting along there? Are they treating you okay?
They're all right. They're all right. It's a good experience.
Yes, sir.
Lots of good people. Mm-hmm. Some sour people.
Certainly. Tell us about the sour people.
Lots of the children.
Oh, yeah.
Children everywhere. Everywhere I walk, they want to play with my cane or pull on my coat.
Will you tell them not to? I'm a swift...
Humbug.
Right.
Children. Nothing but sentimental rot. What a waste of time.
Is everybody coming to the rehearsals on time? Is there anybody that's not pulling their weight?
I don't care, Hal.
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as I do my bit and they pay me afterwards, I'm fine.
I understand.
Yeah.
And Jordana Lawrence, she's the brand new director this year. You get along well with her?
Jordana's a good person.
Very good.
She has a lot to say. She's a smart woman.
Very smart.
Yes. She's a bit demanding.
She's a lot to say. Does she talk a lot? Is that what you're saying in a nice way?
She
Yeah, she
talks
does.
a lot.
She
yeah.
does.
Just typical women talk.
Oh.
Which I could do plainly without.
She has an idea in her head, and she wants to make sure that you get it through your head.
She always tries to tell us what to do.
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah, she just kind of directs you now and again, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, listen, you're going to be opening the show pretty soon. It looks like, if I have it right, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th,
That's what they tell me.
9th, 10th, and you also have a matinee, right? You have a
Yeah, I
matinee
believe
on
it's on
Sundays?
Sundays.
Yeah,
Sundays, I prefer to do other things on Sundays,
certainly.
but I'll be there.
You have your English roasted dinner Sundays, don't you?
I try to.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on. I know you could be doing other things with other people, and we are going to pay you, and I promised you that. And do you have any questions for us or Amber? Amber's going to be working with you.
Well, now I'm a little bit nervous.
Yes, that wasn't part of the deal, Mr. Ferguson.
You're not getting paid any less or any more. She's going to be doing the lighting during the play.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
you need your lighting.
All right,
right.
yes.
The people here in America, they look up to you. You're a figure that they've known for years.
They
so-
tell me I'm an icon.
You are an icon.
Yes.
Yes, very important part of our holiday spirit.
Well, to each his own, I suppose.
Well, listen, I thank you very much for coming on, and you tell everybody back at the Plaza Playhouse that we said hello, especially Jordana Lawrence.
Yes.
I'll try to do my best.
All right, shake my hand one more time. Ebenezer Scrooge, thank you very much.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Come on, keep rolling, man.
Man, touch my dice like that again.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Hey, fellas.
No, wait. That guy has his own TV show. Is any good? Hell no.
You guys mind if I play?
You got some money? Come on over.
You know how to play? I'm only the Yachi champion back home.
Oh, no. Just take his money. All right?
Go ahead, keep playing with me. And watch how I hit him in the head once again. For those that didn't believe in the kid, y'all might as well be dead. Cause what y'all thought couldn't be done, I did. I'm like Ray Charles, dawg. I don't see none of y'all. I'm blind to the fact that half of y'all rap and I'm outrunning y'all.
Man, I could sure use some help right now. Mr. Las Vegas, Keith Austin?
Ben, hand me up those dice. That should do it.
Come on.
I got the mommy.
Yeah!
Hey, you better check them dice, man.
I got the mommy.
Yeah!
What's going on in there?
Me and you both know they ain't ready. They're just too petty. I'm just too deadly. When you see them boys round your way, holla, damn it, damn. When you see them boys round your way.
Thank you, Keith Austin.
Luck be a lady
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've all been waiting for. Please welcome Mr. Las Vegas himself, Mr. Keith Austin.
Hi,
be a
great to see you. Thank you for having me on your show, Ben.
Keith, thank you very much for coming.
Great to see you too.
Please.
Thank you
please
very
have a
much.
seat.
Thank you.
And feel free to have a pumpkin cookie anytime during this
All
interview.
right, sometime I will do that.
They're
Okay, how's that?
Listen, we spoke a little bit during the monologue about your 3 one-hour specials.
Yes.
Now, they're going to be this month, and we're going to December, and then January? Is when
Yeah,
we start playing?
each month we have the 1 hour special. It plays 12 times
Wow.
during the month, so I'm sure that your audience will have an opportunity to see it one of those times.
Yeah, we're going to see a couple clips in just a few minutes, but
Yeah.
I've seen some of the shows, and it's amazing.
Oh, great. Well, the first show is playing in November, and it stars, really the big stars, Sammy Davis Jr. and Little Richard.
Right.
The second show is B.B. King. That plays in December, plus a whole bunch of other great people.
Yeah.
And then in January, it's Rich Little. And
Yeah.
and that's the way it's going to play.
Rich Little was one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah.
He could do anything.
Well, you know what was neat about Rich Little, to tell you the truth? Up until the time Rich Little, who was a great impressionist at the time, he could do anybody, like you said.
Right.
His Richard Nixon was so unbelievable that he even got on the telephone and made believe he was Richard Nixon, or he could get anything he wanted on the phone.
And nobody could do Johnny Carson, and Rich Little did Johnny Carson perfectly.
Yeah, and what's nice? He's still with us today.
Yeah.
And he's still playing Vegas.
Is he
And
really?
Yes, he is. He's still, I don't know what his age is, and he doesn't want us to tell anyway.
Right.
But the thing about him was when he first came out in, let's say, the 1960s
Right.
with his act, not only did he do the voice, but he did the characterization of the face, facial
mannerisms and whatnot?
mannerisms of the body and the face and all of that. And that's what really made him the big star
Right.
of impressionism that he became.
He was the king. He's the very best. Now, we
Absolutely.
have so many things to cover, and I have some pictures. And I kind of want to go down this road here. We're going to start at the very beginning. Now,
Okay.
we'll start right here.
Yes, is that me?
This is Mr. Bugsy Siegel.
I don't remember that one.
That's a great picture.
Now, was Mr. Bugsy a friend of your father's, from what I understand?
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a buddy of my father's, but certainly my
Right.
father knew him. I
Right.
mean, my family was there in the early 1940s when this gentleman came to Las Vegas, who was really the visionary
Right.
who started the city. I mean,
Right.
I would say that. But my father knew him. And the fact is, just to go on with that, we had a dude ranch. We were running a dude ranch.
Okay.
And people from the big cities in the east would come out and make believe they were cowboys at our dude ranch.
Right.
Well, Bugsy came over to see my dad one day. He was in the restaurant and bar that we had there. And Bugsy said, "Look, Tex." They called my father Tex. He was actually Nathaniel from Chicago, but he was Tex. Tex, Eartha Kitt's playing over at the Flamingo. And
This is Bugsy talking?
Bugsy talking.
Yeah.
Bugsy's talking to my dad.
Tex,
And
sure.
I'm 3 years old, standing like this, looking
Right.
at him. So he says, "Can Eartha stay here? She needs a really good place to stay. We had apartments there and everything for our guests, And unfortunately, we were full. And my dad looked at Bugsy and he says, "I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Bernie, but we're really full and we have no room for anybody else." So I always say that my dad was one of the only people that said no to Bugsy,
no to Bugsy?
and walked away.
Wow, yeah. That all started for me back in 1958 with KENO, Keno Radio.
Yeah, evidently, absolutely. In '58, I went on Keno Radio. I was nothing but a teenager,
Right.
Going to Las Vegas High School of all things, and lucky enough to have gotten a job in radio
Right.
at a young age. And being in Vegas at that young age, I was so stupid that I didn't know that I was smart, and I could call people like Jerry Lewis or like Bobby Darin, not knowing that this is a big deal. I had the guts to pick up the phone and call Jerry Lewis.
Right.
And I'd call the Sands Hotel and say, "Hey, I want to speak with Jerry Lewis. This is Keith Austin from Keno Radio." And you know what? It was a small town then. They put me right through. And it was Jerry.
I understand Jerry Lewis was your first guest.
He was my first interview in 1958. I'm some stupid kid, 14 years old, with a tape recorder. I go to the Flamingo and to his dressing room.
And in '58, he was a huge star.
He was a huge star. I mean,
Right.
he must have been in that part. He was in his late 20s, maybe.
Doing movies with Dean Martin, right?
Yeah, they were doing movies. By that time, I think they split up. He was doing an individual act. He could tell that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know what to ask him.
Right.
I walk in with a microphone and don't have any particular questions in mind.
But you did it, though.
But I did it.
I like
yeah,
that.
I did it. And Jerry, he was so good to me
Right.
that he helped me. He prodded me on,
That was nice.
to say, well, why don't we talk about this thing, or why don't we talk about this thing,
Right.
So it kind of helped the interview, but it was like the first thing, and after that, I realized, well, maybe I ought to think about this before I walk in and open my mouth up.
Right. Well, so you're doing the radio interviews, and somehow you got promoting big rock bands. Like here we have your name's at the top of this. You had the Beach Boys, and it was the convention center, and you
That was the first the big promotion that we did. I became a rock disc jockey,
Right.
and also did at that time, which was probably 1963. We were doing a rock and roll American Bandstand Dick Clark type of dance show
Right.
live on Saturday afternoons. And then at the same time,
Teen Beat?
That's another story.
Okay,
but
sorry.
the Beach Boy thing was the first concert. Being on television and everything, we decided, why don't we make some money? Let's do the Beach Boy concert. In those days, the funny thing was that people used silver dollars to pay their bills. There were no credit cards. In Las Vegas, your pockets would be bulging out, actually tearing out of your pants.
Wasn't there a hotel called the Silver Dollar?
There was there's the Golden Nugget.
Right.
There probably was a Silver Dollar, but the Beach Boys came. We collected 4,000 or 5,000 silver dollars.
Wow.
We had to carry them out after the show and put them in our trunks, so our cars were going down the road like this,
Nice.
But it was nice to have all those silver dollars.
Right. Now, you came across Steve Miller as your partner.
We were Las Vegas high school buddies. Steve wanted to be a disc jockey. I taught him how to be a disc jockey.
Right.
We then became competitors on competitive radio stations, and sometimes we were on the air at the same time, But anyway, Steve and I got together and started holding dances, promoting shows, doing a television show together in black and white in those days. And there's not even a tape that exists of that show. There was no tape. There was no videotape, So we do live shows. And so Steve and I then decided we'd build this nightclub just for teenagers. And we ran it till 1968, quite successfully.
Yeah.
It was
That's
really something.
You started a show called Tonight in Las Vegas.
Well, as years went by, we split up probably in 1968. Steve and I split up our long partnership, and we went our own ways. And I went on to be the weatherman at the ABC station in
Good for
Las
you.
Vegas. I did the weather, and was doing a lot of commercials locally, and then decided I wanted to produce Tonight in Las Vegas. So just like Ben Ferguson, I went to Channel 5 and I said, you know what, I want to do a TV show. It's going to be a talk show. And I produced, I was executive producer of the show. I had a nice, great staff that went out and got these wonderful guests that were readily available.
Yeah, because you're in Las Vegas. Speaking of
That's
wonderful
something.
guests, here you are with
Oh
Sammy
my
Davis
goodness.
Yeah, you're right. Sammy does.
Jr. And you guys look like you're palling around.
Yeah.
You look like friends.
Sammy was so nice that he came to my studio 3 times. In a matter of 2 years, Sammy appeared on my TV show 3 times. The other gentleman is if you want to say, when Johnny Carson had Ed McMahon, this was my announcer, Ron Bell,
Is that right?
my old buddy. So Sammy, I didn't get to know him personally. Some of the people that did come on my show, I got to know personally.
Sammy Davis Jr., when I was a kid, I think I was like 8, 9 years old, I mowed everybody's lawn in town to go down. I took the bus down to Woolworths and I bought the Sammy Davis album with Candyman on it.
Oh my God.
And I played that thing 1 billion times and don't know any of the other songs, but I was a big Sammy Davis Jr. fan.
Yeah, Candyman was a fabulous song. And
Yeah.
the guy was so talented, with his ability to sing and dance. He was a fabulous dancer.
It was amazing.
He told jokes. I mean, this guy was an all-around entertainer,
Right. This is about the smoothest picture I've ever seen.
Smooth.
Smooth.
I guess I had a good makeup man then.
Yeah, I know you. Nice suit and everything. I wore this suit and kind of like the Casino, Robert De Niro we're talking about. I don't get a chance to wear a suit like this often, but I want to.
The guy that Robert De Niro portrayed, the real person, Frank Rosenthal.
Right.
And Frank Rosenthal was the...
He had a little talk show. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, he did. He had a little talk show.
Mm-hmm.
He had that. He was the actual casino manager of the Stardust Hotel. Wow. And he did the talk show in the lobby. He had his set up there. And in real life, by the time he was on TV in 1972, I was in business in Hollywood. I had gone out of television and gone into business. I was selling products that was called videotape in those days.
Right.
Okay, and it's not anymore. But anyway, and I was selling products to Merv Griffin at Caesar's Palace. Mm-hmm. Merv said, go down and see Frank Rosenthal and sell him your product. So Merv Griffin's production manager drove me down to the Stardust and walked me up to this guy. I didn't know who the hell he was. I didn't know he was a gangster either.
Right.
And they said, Mr. Rosenthal, we want you to meet Mr. Austin. And so I shook the guy's hand, and He says, well, talk to my production assistant over here. You want to sell me something? Go ahead. Talk to him. We'll buy it.
Wow, I
but
like
I
that.
never knew that he was who he was.
Right.
And we all know now when we saw the movie Casino. But seriously, for 30 years, I never realized who this guy really was.
Yeah.
But I saw that Casino and I said, oh my God, I knew that guy.
You know what? I want to talk forever and ever. They're saying we're running out of time. I want to play the Little Richard interview if we can.
Right.
Can you guys go ahead and roll that?
Is it true that you taught the Beatles when they recorded that song how to do that? Yeah, right.
Yes, I taught that to Paul over in Hamburg, Germany. We was at the Star Club, and I met them in Liverpool. I played there for Brian Epstein, and that's where I met the Beatles, Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Rolling Stones, the Swingin' Blue Jeans, and the Searchers.
That was back in about 62
In
or
1961.
61.
Yes, and I taken the Beatles with me to Germany, and we used to rehearse every day, and so Paul would always say, woo, woo, woo. I said, woo, woo, woo. So he finally got woo. Next thing I know, when she was just 17, woo, he got it.
Now, during the special, you have him performing, right?
Yeah, he does a song, the Beatles song, I Saw Her Standing There, and then he does a song, an original song that he wrote himself. But a lot of people don't know what happened to Richard and where he finally went to in Hollywood and became who he is today. By the way, he's 80 now, and he's just retired to his hometown of Macon, Georgia, just a few years ago. And I would love to talk to Richard, and frankly, if I had the time, I'll find him and say hello to the guy.
Yeah.
It's been 50 years. But after Richard's first coming, if you want to call it that, in the 50s, he did Tutti Frutti.
Right.
And that was his big first hit record. I don't know if you would remember something
I
like that.
absolutely remember.
All right. So anyway, he did Tutti Frutti. Then, by the time I'd talked to him, he was making a second comeback because he was a big 50s rock star. He was there before Elvis was. After I was interviewing him on my show, and he even had me over for dinner to Elvis's suite at the International Hotel. And the point is this, that Richard went on and became a very religious Christian guy. He had some guilt feelings about his lifestyle prior to 1969, around there. And I was in Los Angeles later on looking at Time magazine, and there was a picture of Richard on the front. He became a Bible salesman. And he was wearing, a suit and carrying a Bible. But then after that, he went back to show business again.
Right.
But he was a very thoughtful, religious, intelligent guy, and way ahead of his time in his political ideas and things like that, which some of them come up on my special, and you'll see it in the show.
Right. It's really interesting, these major stars, to if you get a glimpse at their personal life and who they are, because sometimes we don't realize that they're people, and they have lives.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's really interesting.
That's true, and it's like I made it a point all the time to pre-interview all my people. I'd go and see their floor show the night before the show, and we'd go and have a cup of coffee after the floor show, and we get to talk for an hour or two.
Right.
And I'd try to get into these people so that the next day they come on my show, just like the 5 hours we spent yesterday together.
That's right.
Right. Anyway.
For you actually coming on here and sharing all the stuff that you've shared with me, through the videos and online, I really appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate being on your show, and just it's been really wonderful to be here.
We could talk for hours more, and we don't have enough time for the other clips, but the specials will be, check the listings, and it's playing 12 times.
Well, they play on Tuesdays at 11 a.m., Thursdays at 6 p.m., and Sundays at 9 p.m. I have that memorized,
Good,
by the way.
good for you.
That's about all I
I'll be
can.
looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you again for being part of a good sport, for being in our commercial. For
Thank
promotion
you.
for you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Mr. Keith Austin.